Hi guys, it's Zippy. I got a couple more things that I wanted to tell you about. One is that every year, usually the first weekend in April, Donnie and I and some friends of ours go to Jacksonville and to a big blues festival up there. And if you live in the Jacksonville area, you need to go because it's cheap, 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 cheap. And but I went there as a person in a wheelchair this year, which was very different. And being in a wheelchair all the way around is very different because people treat you differently. They either will not look you in the face, they will not, like something's catching, or they don't interact with you at all, or they're just as nice as they can possibly be, Some of them a little bit too nice, For example, the little bit too nice stuff. Well, people will open doors for you, and if you're ever in doubt of what you should do, if you see a handicapped person, ask them, hey, can I get the door for you? Sure, please, yes. Would you like to sit at a table instead of a booth? Well, yeah, ask them how can I accommodate you and make your enjoy here better, your stay here more enjoyable. Huh. Wow. Wouldn't that be excellent customer service? If someone actually asked you those things, And so, people are, like I said, people are very nice. We went to an after the festival, they had an after jam or after hours party, and in a restaurant that served barbecue, and they also had a live music venue. And my favorite musician, I'll show him to you. My favorite musician, my friend made this for me. His name is Shane DeWhite, and this is what he really looks like because you hardly ever see his eyeballs. This is what he really looks like. His glasses were glued to his head, but they fell off somehow. I think Caitlin. Okay. Anyway, Shane, I could kiss him right on the lips, and I do kiss him on the lips periodically. See? I love you, Shane. So anyway, Shane, his wife doesn't know. Anyway, so Shane was there, and I went in, and I looked around, and the place is packed. There is no room for nobody. No room for standing, no room for sitting. So I just stood in the middle of the restaurant, and I said, hey, can I have your attention, please? Would anybody be willing to give up their table for a disabled girl? And they're all looking at me. Either they're very uncomfortable because they're thinking maybe I'm supposed to give it up, or they're laughing at me because they're thinking, I don't care if you're disabled or not, Some of them actually did say, hey, you can roll up to my table. But I had 3 other people with me. I was just being stupid, being silly. And there was this biker there. He had this big old honking long beard, And he says, wow, that almost worked for you. And so I grabbed his beard. It was braided into a ponytail beard, I grabbed it and I shook it. I said, you giving up your table for the disabled girl? He's like, no. Well, whatever, dude, So I rolled up to the front and I sat on the dance floor, and I put my little feet up on the stage. And the thing about it is that all these people had been there for hours. They're not going to say nothing to the disabled girl because that's not nice, So I was just in front of all of them. And I'm dancing, and then these guys are dressed like the Blues Brothers. They come up, they start dancing with me, And they had their butt in my face, so I pinched them to get it out of my face. Pat their butt and pinched them, and they went on. And then, there was this drunk girl. She never shared a drink with me, but she's like, you're having a great time, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm having a great time. So she goes outside. It turns out Kim, Gary, and Donnie couldn't stay in the restaurant. There wasn't any room, so they're out front. Donnie was mad. And they're out front. I had no idea. I'm dancing and having a good time. I thought they found a table, So she goes outside and she goes, "Your friend's having a good time," you know. Well, when I found out that they didn't have a table, I felt guilty for a little bit, and I left, And so, as I'm rolling out, people are giving me high fives and punches, fist punches, and, I'm like, what is that? What am I, the cool gimp, So, anyway, I had a good time. And then the other thing that happened while we were there is we were in the hotel, and this guy goes, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" And my friend Kimmy speaks up, and she goes, "Well, and if you have children, you might want to take them out." But my friend Kimmy goes, "This is what happened when you give BJ's." She was giving a BJ to her husband while they were driving down the road, and he wrecked. And Donnie's like, "Oh no, yeah, la 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 la." So it was just funny. And then that same guy got in the elevator with us, and we got off on 2, and he got off on the 3rd floor. And when we were about to get off, he says, "Well, I guess you guys are below me, right?" Below me? Oh my gosh, we laughed so hard. But it's just that kind of crap. You can get away with stuff when you're a cripple that you can't get away with when you're an able-legged person. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna really miss it, You'll see, And like we were going out into the crowd, Kimmy says, "Oh, we gotta go out in the crowd, but there's so many people. How am I ever going to get through this crowd?" I said, "Here, let me handle it." And I'm yelling, "Disabled girl, watch out, disabled girl coming through, handicapped, get the hell out of the way, handicapped girl," And she was like, "Don't ever do that to me again." So anyway, we had a good time. The other thing I want to ask you about, and I hope I'm not going over my time, but I may be. Let me just put another one up, just in case, because I want to talk about this. I'll see you guys later.